In this video, we're going to cover the 5 most effective questions for you to ask every individual prior to your first session of training with them. For those who don't know me, my name is Joe Drake. I'm the founder and CEO of the Axiom Fitness Academy, and I create these videos because I want more personal trainers like you to succeed and stay in the industry. And today we're going through some of the most important questions to ask, not during the first session, but I truly believe prior to your initial session with a client, right? Especially when it comes to converting more strategy sessions, intro sessions, whatever you might call it, right? You may be at a gym that gives you some free assessments, or maybe you're doing this on your own and you call it whatever it is you call it, but you know what I'm talking about, a taster session, getting to know the client, building rapport, getting them in the door. And there's so much that you're trying to navigate during that session. All the assessments that you might want to do, all of the questions that you need to ask, all the questions they might have, and then also getting them out on the floor and actually having them experience training with you. So because of that, I find if you can extend that process, ask some questions prior to, you're gonna have a lot better initial session that you're gonna be able to customize to that individual person. And I think this can be done in a variety of ways. I think it can be done, and I see people doing it well, via Google Forms that get sent out so they can take time to think about and respond to these things. I know a lot of coaches who get on Zoom calls, phone calls, meet in person, whatever it is that you do, it doesn't matter. I think do what's natural to you. But these are the 5 questions that I found to be the most valuable because they're gonna allow you to understand that individual's barriers better before you get into that first session, so you're already able to provide answers and solutions, and also so that you can customize that initial experience, which I think is huge in delivering on an experience that they're looking for, and letting them know that you're a coach who cares and listens, and again, getting them to say yes and actually keep training with you. So let's dive into these couple of questions. Some of them are familiar, right? Some of them are ones that you know, but I think how you ask them and how we dive in deeper and how we use that inside of our first session is where the magic is. So the first one is any version of, what are your goals? What are you looking to achieve? We all know that on the surface, especially the first time we ask this, a lot of clients may not give you a really great response. And it's partially because most people aren't really great at verbalizing what they want, or maybe they don't really have great goal setting skills, but either way, we want to ask some questions about what are you looking to achieve. Now, no doubt if it's something on a written form, you're going to get whatever they give you, but if you have phone call or Zoom potential with somebody, you're going to want to dive in deeper to this, right? They might give you a surface level answer, and you're probably going to get a lot of juice, right? I say a lot of juice because we're going to be able to use this stuff further down inside of that first session to really make sure we're focused in on their goals, for them to know like, wow, this coach is really listening to me. So any version of what are you looking to achieve, right? We want to understand why they're there, okay? So that's our first one and probably the most familiar. You're probably already doing that in the first session anyways, okay? But having at least an intro to it's going to allow you to dive a little deeper and get better information and answers in that actual in-person first session. And then from that, right, there's follow-up questions that may come from it. You're going to ask deeper stuff to get some more info. And then why is that important? So if they want to lose however much weight, right, they want to achieve something, why is that important? We all know oftentimes this is like maybe an objective goal. I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, great. Well, 15 pounds doesn't really mean anything. It's just a number. So we want to understand the emotions behind what drives them. Okay, so why is this important to you? And even more so, why right now? Right? Why not 6 months ago? Why not 6 months from now? Like, what is it in your life right now that's making this important enough for you to take action? I think that is huge because here's the reality. When they come in for that initial session, we've already got them through the door, right? They're already starting to take action. And at that point in time, it's more so now they're trying to figure out, are you the one? Are you the person who's going to help me on this path and on this journey? It's not, do I want to take action? Like, they're already showing they do. And so I think for us to really know why is this important to you and also why right now, again, we can bring this up in conversation, right? And again, I don't like to go towards like the negative aspect of sales, but poking at the pain, right? We want to understand what the pain is. Because if we don't understand the pain, then we're not going to be able to customize the process. We're probably not going to develop real connected rapport with that person inside that first session. So this is a juicy one, all right? What do you want to achieve? And then why is it important and why right now? Okay, we need to know what's happening in their life right now so that we can go back to it, we can refer to it when they need it. All right, so first 2 ones, right, we're just getting basic information. Again, maybe 2 that you guys are already using. I think an important one that often gets left out in the first session, but even more important ahead of time, is like, okay, we've got some perspective now. You're building some information, you're gathering some info, some ammunition, if you want to call it that, for that first session, trying to get them to say yes and deliver on a great experience. What's holding you back? What is holding you back right now from doing it on your own? That's what I want to know. It's like, why do you even need me right now? Okay, we want to better understand. This is going to give you some good information from their perspective. What are their barriers? You know, if you're like young Joe as a coach, you might say, well, like, what are their excuses? But what are their barriers? What's holding them back right now? Because again, in that first session, I'm going to be able to speak to and talk to those things specifically. Either A, how I'm going to solve those problems, or how we're going to work together to make sure that those don't get in the way, right? People want help solving problems. That's what great coaching is. And so I think asking that question, what is it that's holding you back from doing this on your own right now? You know, it's going to help understand those barriers. And it's also going to play really well into the fourth question, which is a powerful one. And this is one that I didn't use early on in coaching and training, and I wish that I did, which is like, what do you need from me? What do you need from me as a coach and trainer? Which is very different, right? It's very different from what you want to achieve, and why is it important to you? What do you need from me? All right, I think this is a really valuable one because this gets the expectations and communication laid out up front, right? If you've been coaching clients for a while, anytime there's been a miscommunication on what they should be getting from you, whether they can call and text you all the time, usually it's because that just wasn't discussed enough in the beginning. Okay, so I think this does a couple of things. First off, it gets really clear for you, what do they need from a coach? They might be someone who like, hey, you know what? I feel really good about what I'm eating. Like, I feel really dialed in on my nutrition. I just need someone to keep me accountable and motivated, all right? Like, I want to have fun in the gym. I need someone who's going to make exercising fun for me. All right, well, then I know not only do I need in that first session, I'm using this pre-information to make sure I deliver on a killer session that speaks to exactly what they need. I want to make sure that what I do in that first session shows them that I was listening here to what they need. And again, someone who like, I want to have fun working out, I've never enjoyed it, boom, we're going to make sure that they leave smiling, having a great time, laughing, whatever it is. Versus someone who's like, hey, you know what, honestly, like, I know this is important, but I just day to day, I don't make it enough of a priority for myself. I just need someone who's going to keep me accountable daily. You know, someone who might check in on me with text messages. Well, then you're going to know like what their expected communication is. So I think it's really important because it allows you to better understand what they're looking for in a coach. And on the flip side, I've also found that it allows me to better communicate what I actually do, right? For someone who might be looking for not only daily coaching and training, they're looking for a little accountability, but they also want a fully developed meal plan. Like, they lay out all these expectations. It allows me to make sure that they know that there might be some things that I don't do. Here's how I operate. And you can figure out if this is going to be a good fit. Okay, so again, so much great stuff that comes from this. I really think that this is going to help you deliver on a great first session, speaking to what they need. If it means like they're like, hey, what do you need from a coach and trainer? I need someone who's like really knowledgeable about injuries and can work around my shoulder and back that hold me back. Okay, cool. Well, guess what? We're going to go formalized assessments in that first session. I'm going to showcase my knowledge, but all of it just shows I was listening to what they said here. So really powerful question. I could keep going, but I think you guys understand. So we've gotten so much great information just from these 4 questions so far. What do you want to achieve? Why is it important right now? What's holding you back? What are the barriers? And then what do you need from a coach? And then this one's a little bit less about just building rapport and customizing the session. And it's more about giving you a better approach when it comes to, at the end of that first session, you know, saying, hey, do you want to sign up with me? Or, hey, let's get started. Is I want to know, what is your perfect training schedule? What's your perfect training schedule? Now, this does a couple of things. First off, you might have all this great conversation with someone, and then you get to the end of that first session and things have gone so well, and there's no way they fit into your training schedule. Well, let's not waste each other's time, okay? So that's one thing. As you get busier as a coach and trainer, if someone wants to train and they have to train at 6 a.m. and you're booked every day of the week, you know, that's something you might want to talk about up front. So that's one thing. I do think it allows you to waste less time and to make sure that people are on the same page of like when this training needs to happen. The other thing is hopefully that's not an issue. And what it does is it allows you to already, by the time you get to that first training session, you've already got them plugged into your schedule, right? I call this is like a little cheat code towards trying to get them to say yes and take action. Is you have a great initial conversation, you have a killer initial session, and at the end of that session, boom, you already pull them up, right? You pull up your schedule and their name's already in there. You've already removed the time barrier, right? They told you what their perfect schedule was and you plugged them in. And so what happens is you almost kind of like get this forced commitment. Not that we want to force people into anything, but what do people need from coaches? They need someone who's going to help them take action. And schedule can be a big issue for people. So that's just one that along the way I found to be super helpful, not only for making sure that this is a good fit from a training standpoint, but helping to get that commitment up front by already plugging them into your schedule for the next couple of weeks with the ideal days, times, and frequency that they've asked for. So all those things are going to go a long way towards building great rapport with that person and making sure that you have enough really good information for you to deliver on a really great first session. And these questions are easily left until that initial day, until you get together, but there's already so much you're trying to accomplish in that first time together that I think if you can ask these ahead of time, you're gonna deliver on killer training sessions. So if you guys found this content to be useful for you, if you guys like these questions, if you're gonna use these things, then don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't hesitate to leave some comments. Let me know what you guys would like to see more of as I continue to make content for trainers like you who are trying to find their way in the fitness industry.